Hello and welcome to the No Sugarcoating podcast, episode 398. I am so happy that you are here with me today. Wherever you are in the world, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Amber, and we're going to have a really nice conversation today. Once a year or so, I like to really have a conversation around what support looks like to help you gain food and body freedom. I'm going to talk a bit about biz freedom as well. Because every year that I'm in my business, and it's going to be 10 years in August, which I can't believe the time is flying by so fast, but every year I'm in my business, there's changes, there's growth, there's expansion. I heal more. I can help my clients heal on a deeper level. And so I like to give a bit of an update of like what new things have been added in, how the support could help you. Maybe you've been, considering reaching out for support, and this episode could really help you, give you the nudge to step forward. So we're going to explore how coaching helps you fully heal binge and emotional eating. And obviously with that comes along with the hormone issues, the gut issues, the people pleasing, the all or nothing mentality, the body image issues, the unworthiness, the not feeling good enough, right? Like all the physical, emotional, and energetic blocks. I'm going to talk a bit about what support for body and business freedom looks like. And I also want to acknowledge some of the blocks, fears, or concerns around making an investment. Because I know fears can come up. I know the nervous system can get overwhelmed. I know, right? Like what all of that is about. So we're going to talk a bit about all of that to help, give you some peace of mind and ease, because honestly, sometimes it's not the right time to invest. But sometimes it's the right time to invest and it's in alignment. But what gets in the way is the ego and the mind. The ego talks us out of it. The ego tells us all the reasons, stories, and excuses why we shouldn't and why it's not a good idea, because the ego doesn't want us to change. So I want to acknowledge that. And I also respect that there is an aligned time, and, you're going to know what feels best for you, but we want to make sure we don't let the ego continue to block us. So we're going to talk about that right away as well. So of course, a couple quick announcements. Okay. This past week had a night, I think it was Monday night, where I was like wide awake in the middle of the night for like 3 hours. I can't eat dark chocolate, like even a couple hours before bed. I made some homemade like chocolate chip ice cream with dark chocolate chips and had a bowl, and yeah, wide awake for like 3 hours. But I got a brilliant new idea, something that's going to complement the podcast. I will share that with you in episode 400 in a couple of weeks. It's going to be it's going to be something new that I want to try, and I want to see how it goes. And I think you're going to really love it. And it's going to help like expand your journey and experience with this podcast. So stay tuned for that, but I'm really excited to share it with you. It's a tool. And then we'll do some fun other stuff to celebrate episode 400 as well. So you will not want to miss that. That's in 2 weeks. So exciting. But the show notes for today's episode can be found at amberapproved.ca /podcast /398. So, I shared about this on social media this week, and I want to bring it here because as I'm going to be talking about support and coaching today, I wanted to like plant a seed for you as we dive into that. As you know, or maybe don't know, this month until February 28th, I'm offering a savings on my 4-month and 6-month programs. And I'm going to talk a bit about my year investment as well. This might excite some of you when I share this, so it's good. But I want you to ask yourself this question, and I want you to journal on it if you feel called, because I think it's a very powerful question to ask yourself, especially if you've been blocked from wanting to proceed to heal your relationship with food in your body. So here's the question. How would overcoming emotional eating, again, it could be emotional eating, binge eating, and body insecurities free you in your life? How would it free you in your life? I want you to really think about that. And you can pause the podcast, you come back, journal later or whatever. But like, if you could have the success, the happiness, the confidence, and the internal peace to take your life to the next level, how would that feel? Because honestly, emotional eating, binge and purge, whatever you're struggling with, body image insecurities do not have to be your secret, and you don't have to continue to let them hold you back. Yes, at first, considering like wanting to go on a healing journey, facing it, dealing with it can feel uncomfortable. There's some unknown there, but that's the beauty of reaching out for support. And so many good things come from doing this deeper healing, right? For me, I stopped isolating and hiding. I stopped denying myself love. I stopped punishing my body. I learned self-love. I stopped obsessing over food. I learned how to respect my body and food, right? And have more respect for others, because the more you respect yourself, the more you respect others. And I've learned infinite amounts about my health, my well-being, energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? Choosing to embark on this journey helped me create my business, which has been such a gift. It's helped me heal so much around money and lack and like stuff like that and control. It's helped me deepen my connection with myself. And it's opened me up to so many beautiful things, like my love relationship with my love. Like I'm not sure I would have manifested him if I wouldn't have healed myself. So I can't imagine not working through. And this is what I want for you, is like the same is possible. I always talk about this. The same is possible for all of us, but we have to be willing and open to go there. So if you gain freedom from emotional eating or binge eating, if you build body love, what success, opportunities, love, abundance, peace, joy, happiness, etc. would be available for you? These are great journal prompts. Take some time and journal this out, because it's waiting for you. It's literally waiting on the other side of you making the decision that it's time to deal with this. You're not alone, as I'm always saying. I hear you. I see you. You're not alone. And so much is possible by opening up and taking a different approach with your health and your healing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I just want to remind you that there is the coaching savings, $1,000 off of 4 months, $2,000 off of 6 months, 4 spots available, or 3 rather now, until the end of February. So 3 spots available. 1 of them has been claimed. Okay. So if you are interested in doing so, you can go to amberapproved.ca, schedule a 30-minute body freedom session. It's $50 USD. And we'll talk a bit more about that session today. Or you can email me at info@amberapproved.ca with the subject line body freedom savings. And I'm happy to talk to you and give you the details and have you come in if it feels like a fit. So I'm really excited to connect. Okay. So let's dive in. So I feel like I could even just stop the podcast now and be like, take these questions, journal on them, explore, because they're very valuable. They're very valuable all in themselves, right? So, sometimes when we're really struggling with something, like maybe you've been in the mentality like that, I have the knowledge, I have nutrition knowledge, I'm a coach, I'm a therapist, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, like I should know how to heal this on my own. Now, I want you to celebrate your knowledge. I want you to celebrate, and I'm not just saying, like, I work with all kinds of women, business owners, career women, moms, like it doesn't really matter what walk of life you come from, but it's like if you're discounting why you should move forward with support because you assume you should just be able to figure it out yourself, yet you've been struggling for years or decades. Celebrate your knowledge that you have. Celebrate what you know. Celebrate what you've tried. However, if something's continuing to come up for us and we're struggling with it, that means that there is a deeper level of knowledge for us to build. There's a deeper level of awareness for us to grow, deeper level of connection with the body. There may be things that we actually don't know about, because none of us know everything, that someone else is an expert in that can really help us with. Like most of the women that come forth with me have never heard of the ego unless they've been listening to the podcast, right? But that's a huge block, that keeps us stuck and keeps us struggling and in these old habits of binging, emotional eating, self-sabotage with food, body image issues, weight struggles, right? Like so many of my clients, and I used to be this, just so unhappy with your weight, and I need to lose weight. I'm not going to be happy until I lose the weight. So we've tied our worth in with how much we weigh. And if it's not what we want it to be, then we get upset, right? So we see how the ego, this is the mindset piece, the ego is a huge piece of knowledge that, to be honest, not a lot of us have learned. And even if we have, there's a deeper level of mastery that we can step into that having the coaching and assistance can help us with, right? Also, people say, well, I know how to eat. And it's like, yeah, but if you're emotionally eating or you're binge eating or you're hating on your body and you're feeling insecure and you're people pleasing, like the nutrition is like a 5%. Like this is about dealing with unworthiness. This is about dealing with a void, a lack of self-love. This is about dealing with your insecurities. And this is about, starting to really gain deep clarity of what your emotional eating triggers are, what your binge eating triggers are, why you binge and then you purge, and what that whole cycle is about. This is about you learning to build awareness and being taught that awareness and being provided with tools and support so that when you fail and you have a bad day and you give into that binge or you get really negative towards your body, right? You have the support to go, it's all good. Let's talk about it. We'll pick you up, dust you off, and we'll keep going on the journey. It's also great to have coaching to help you hold yourself accountable, because a huge pattern and block for so many women that I talk to and men is they'll get started with something, but then, they don't get the results in like a week or a month, and then they get frustrated and pissed off and then they quit, right? So having accountability, be like, it's okay. Like there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to have failure. You're going to have days where you feel like things are going so well, and then you're going to have days where you feel stuck. And this is where having coaching, guidance, support, someone to help you along the way and walk with you every step of the way is so powerful. It's honestly, to me, support is what bridges the gap to full healing. Like if you've been struggling for decades, years and decades, like I'm not saying you can't heal it on yourself, but if you've been struggling for years or decades and you're still struggling, like getting support and investing in yourself could completely change your life and bridge the gap between what you don't know, what you're struggling with, and going a level much deeper to help you heal. And then that gives you freedom and peace and happiness and tools, and you have all of it for the rest of your life, right? A coach can lovingly like hold space for you on the days where you're so upset. Like some days my clients come to me and they're angry or they cry, and it's okay. And they're like, I feel safe here doing this. And I just go, it's okay. Like, let it out. Let's talk about what's going on. And, how can I support you today? Right. A coach also, right? Like I also give my clients a little bit of tough love. And if their ego is really triggered and kicking up, like I call that part of them out, and then we work through it, and they feel so grateful and so much better for going through it. Right. I can help you identify your emotional eating triggers and binge eating triggers and give you very powerful tools to help you build awareness around the first signs of what triggers you to go to food. And then you can actually catch it and prevent binges and emotional eating. And then you go from binging and emotional eating to just a bit of overeating to like, I don't even want to do that anymore. And then you're like, holy crap, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's like this aha moment. A coach can help instill confidence and belief in yourself that you have forgotten, One of my clients, we had a session a few weeks ago, and she's like, I don't know if I can heal. I don't know. Like she lacked belief in herself. And then in our last session, she's like, I actually now know that I'm healing this and I'm going to fully heal this. And like, it made her emotional, made me emotional. I got chills, and I'm just like, yes, you're going to heal. So it gives you reassurance. It's a safe space. You get to build up your confidence, right? And you get to have like a cheerleader and someone who's championing you every step of the way, being a champion for you every step of the way, right? And when things get hard or you get triggered or like you're hesitant to stop people pleasing, like you have that support to encourage you to like, it's safe to set the boundary. Like setting this boundary is going to set your health up for success. Taking the time, like if you feel guilt for doing self-care, like if your mom guilt comes in, because I have so many clients like, I don't know about taking time for myself. The mom guilt comes in. I'm like, we got to clear that out. And I can give you tools and guidance to help you clear that out. So you start to make a bit of time for yourself and you start to do self-care, which helps prevent the emotional eating. It helps balance your hormones, right? Having the support, to properly assess your health, to look at what imbalances are going on with your gut, your hormones, your blood sugar, your cravings, your sleep, your energy levels, your cycle, your menopause, why you can't lose weight, the weight blocks, and that it's so much bigger than just eating less and exercising more. Like when I work with someone and there's a desire to lose weight, yes, of course, like I want your body to go to its natural set point. If there's weight to be lost, of course, I want you to release it. But I want you to stop obsessing and asphyxiating over weight loss, and that you can only be happy when you lose the weight and actually learn to love your body and accept yourself now and work through your body image triggers and actually see that weight is a protective mechanism. And I help teach you what your unique blocks are, like why, and I help you understand, like, why doesn't your body feel safe? Let's look at the physical imbalances. Let's look at the emotional, the energetic, right? For some, the spiritual, like what is going on that is blocking you and your body from not feeling safe and not letting go. Because when we look at that, and we can gain clarity, then it becomes a healing journey, and it becomes about filling this void and connecting with yourself and building self-love. And that's what this journey is all about. And then the bonus is the protection comes off if there's any to come off when you're not paying attention and you're just working on healing and learning to love yourself and like make friends with yourself. And to me, that is just like such a huge gift to be able to let go of all the apps and calorie counting and all the stuff. Right? It's just so nice to let go and to not feel like you need control, and transmute the control into mindfulness and intentionality and power and mindfulness. Like, this is freeing. It's so healing, right? And one of the things that I really find my clients love about the programs they offer is it's not just like one session a month. Like, we're connecting bi-weekly, we can do monthly. Of course, that's a bit more, but Voxer, right, is available between your sessions, and I come in Monday through Friday. So if you're struggling, you have questions, you need support, like, we can connect. And there's other pieces of the coaching I'll talk about as well here in a little bit, but it's very in depth, and it's a very close-knit level of support, and you're able to reach out, right? And I think that that's such an important part of having support, is that we feel held and we feel, like we can reach out when we want. And that being said, like, it's also your responsibility to show up on the journey, even when it gets hard, when you get overwhelmed, when life gets a little busy, to make the change happen. Like, I'm showing up, I'm holding the space for you. I'm checking in with you, right? If something's off, but you need to show up to make the change happen, right? And also be patient, because it does take time to change. Like, I always say to my clients, like, I've had clients make huge, massive shifts in a week, in a month, in 3 months. And at the same time, we also want to be realistic. I'm all for miracles, but if you've been struggling with the things I'm talking about for years or decades, like, be patient, be patient. Like, the average amount of time usually that someone's coming to work with me, is somewhere between, 6 to 12 months, year and a half. And then I have some clients who are like, I want to master everything on a deeper level, and they're with me for a few years. So it's up to you. You get to decide. What I'm saying though here is that be patient. This is not a quick fix journey. This is not a journey where I'm going to give you one little quick fix and, like, you're going to shift everything in a week or a month, right? I don't do that. I want women who want to show up and are going to be on the journey. And yes, you're going to have your impatient days. And yes, you're going to be like, oh, I can't wait until I'm through this. That's natural. I have those days too with different things. And the difference is you can feel like that, acknowledge it, we can work through it, and then you keep flowing forward on your journey. You keep moving forward, right? And I'm here to encourage you and help you along the way. That's another beauty of having a coach. You gain the answers. And one thing that I love about one-on-one and even the mastermind, which is my group in one-on-one, and is that we're connecting and we're working on your unique imbalances. Even same with the group programs, because we still have one-on-one session. But we get to connect, and I'm giving you support, recommendations, guidance based off of your unique imbalances, emotionally, physically, mentally, energetically. It's not cookie cutter. It's specific for you. So your specific gut imbalances, your specific hormone imbalances, etc. Right? So having the guidance, having specific recommendations, rather than like blindly trying to self-diagnose or like Google things on the internet or read a book, right, and try and do it yourself, like, we can end up actually hurting ourselves more than helping with certain supplements and protocols if we're actually not aware of our current state of health. So it's really important that we are actually maybe wanting to get support to get proper testing and guidance and recommendations, right? So coaching can help us physically identify, I help my clients identify why they're having the cravings they are, why they're not sleeping well, why their energy's low. How's your digestion? How's your bowel health? Are you drinking enough water, right? How are you eating? Like, what's your relationship with food? Like, let's start identifying your triggers. And then there's the, mindset, the habits, the sabotage, the body image, the emotional, which is the ego, helping you identify your negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. Why do you feel unworthy? Why are you a people pleaser? Why are you in perfection? Why are you so in your head? Why do you worry so much? Why do you criticize your body so much? Why do you need such deep control, right? Let's undo the old diet programming, the food fears, right? And let's teach you how to become more in tune with your body. I want to teach you how to build awareness with your ego and take your power back. I want to help you identify why Or what triggers you to be critical of your body, and have you clear out those old triggers, and have you really learned to like appreciate and love your body and have gratitude and like her. I help you clear out the old diet rules and the food fears, and you build a new relationship with food where you don't fear food and you don't lose control of food anymore, and you can have whatever you want, and you know balance. To me, it's about mindfulness, nourishment, and mindful indulgence. That is the ultimate amazing, like we want to get there, and you can totally get there. Right? I want to help you understand why you self-sabotage. I want to help you understand like how self-sabotage impacts your physical health, your emotional health, your energetic health, your vibration, if you're open to that. And for those of you who are wanting to come forth, but you're like, I don't want to do the spiritual stuff, that's fine. I don't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. I let each client's journey organically unfold. And if for you, like you're not interested in spirituality or energy, I don't push that on anybody. What happens is I connect with clients in a body freedom call, or like we get into your coaching journey, and some of you will just naturally start asking about it, or start being like, I think I'm sensitive to energy. I feel so sensitive. And then we start having conversations around it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that feels so resonant. Can you tell me more? Like, how do I deal with that? And that's how it unfolds with any of the stuff. I'm not like, you need to do this. You need to do this. It's never like that. It's like, okay, are you open to this? If not, no problem. Like I've had a few women be like, that doesn't feel resonant for me. I'm like, no problem. Like, let's just keep like working on these other things. And then of course, for those who are open to the other aspects, then we bring them in. So it's really a very specific catered journey to you and your unique needs. And it's really meeting you where you're at on your path and taking you along the way for what feels resonant for you. But I find as my clients go along, they're like, wow, yeah, I'm more sensitive. Wow. Like I feel like I'm interested in learning about more of these other modalities. So it's really up to you. You know, when you come on this journey, you learn what it feels like to be in your power. You gain your confidence back. You reconnect with your worth, your love, your power, your light. You create peace of mind. It's so freeing when you're not thinking about food, worrying about food, obsessing about food, right? Planning your next binge. Like it's so freeing to let go of it. It's also really freeing to stop fighting with your body and to make peace with her, and to understand, finally gain clarity, maybe why your hormones are out of whack, or why you haven't been able to lose weight, or why your energy is so low, or why your PMS symptoms are so horrible. Like it's great to gain clarity on those things. And we do that here. And miracles happen in these programs when I'm working with these women. And it's incredible. And I'm humbled and honored that, you know, you come forth and you pick me and we get to do this together. It's very humbling. And it doesn't matter how long I've been on the journey. Like I feel like I get even more excited now when someone comes forth. Like, I'll talk about it right away, but like, even if someone just subscribes to the newsletter, I'm like jumping up and down. I'm like, yes, somebody new who might like, you know, get a tip from a newsletter, or, you know, someone who's, you know, wants to learn more and maybe like do some healing together. Like it's always just so exciting for me, having dance parties all the time. So pumped about it. So what does the support look like? So let's talk a bit about what I help my clients with. Okay. So I guess what I don't do meal plans. I don't do diets. I don't do like quick fixes. For me, I don't do that kind of stuff. I go deep because I want to really help my clients clear out the quick fixes, stop being in the same vicious cycles and like the same looping behaviors, and really be free of it for good. And people always ask, well, what's your success rate? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if you show up, which like 99.9% of my clients do, like it's very rare I ever have someone that doesn't. But if you show up, you'll fully heal. And the only time the odd one doesn't fully is if they're not fully showing up, or there's a block and they're not willing to go deeper emotionally, and or they're like not willing to slow down and commit to taking the time to, you know, slow down and really like do their part of the work outside of the sessions. But it's very rare. Like my clients show up, they do the work, they receive the healing, and we have a lot of fun along the way. We laugh, we cry, right? All of it. It's really powerful. So, you know, really the women that I work with are struggling with emotional eating or binging and purging. I don't do anything with anorexia. So if that's what you're struggling with, get help with that first. And then we can do other things once you've recovered from that. But otherwise, overeating, compulsive eating, binge eating, emotional eating, food fears, diet, undoing all your diet rules are big things that I work on with my clients in body freedom, body image insecurities, weight struggles, right? Feeling unworthy, not feeling good enough, feeling insecure in your body. I'm always working with my clients on that and building body gratitude and body love and self-love. And it goes from this hate, dislike, loathing relationship to liking a little bit and a little bit, and then you build it over time, right? With weight loss. Now, here's the thing with weight loss. Some of my clients, it starts falling off right away because the body was ready. And for some, it takes a bit longer. And that's because the severity of the hormone imbalances is worse. There's higher levels of inflammation and C-reactive protein and different markers that it's important to shift. For some, there's a lot of emotional stuff to clear out to help your body feel safe enough, regulating the nervous system, right? So I give you a lot of tools and access to my membership and a lot of coaching that helps you shift that stuff, but it's different for everyone based on how willing you are to show up. And then based on some of the severity of your imbalances, how intensive is your binge eating or emotional eating? These things take time to shift. So I just invite you get to practice building patience, right? As you come along on this journey. And then of course, I do a lot of work with gut health with my clients. And what a lot of women don't realize is that a lot of your digestive issues are undigested emotions that are suppressed that you're hanging on to in your digestive system. If you're having a lot of bloating and pain and you're not willing to do the deeper emotional work, not a lot changes. We have to be willing to do the emotional work. And I do the emotional work with my clients. And I have some clients who also have a therapist or sees someone else for other things, which I welcome. I want you to feel like you have the guidance that is best for you. But we have to be willing to use tools and talk about things. And obviously a lot of things I'm talking about is the self-sabotage with food, body image, why you're not willing to make yourself a priority, unworthiness, your insecurities, why you're still people pleasing, why you're struggling to set boundaries and say no, why you're in perfectionism, all or nothing mentalities, right? That black and white thinking. We talk a lot about those kinds of things. And then I teach you how to build awareness, learning how to listen to your body, building connection. And then your intuition grows and that good gut feeling, right? That's all part of this journey as well. So I do help my clients with hormone imbalances, and deficiencies. So I'll talk more about that right away. Gut issues. I've had clients who've had colitis and, celiac and all kinds of other issues actually get so much better. Autoimmune gut issues and just in general, autoimmune issues, pain, arthritis, etc., significantly improve because we're dealing with all the other things that are amplifying it. I've had clients who have, acne, cystic acne and really bad skin breakouts and eczema and psoriasis come forth, and we've pretty much fully cleared it up. Which is so incredible to see after all the pills and creams and other things that they've tried that just haven't worked and made it worse. I had quite a few women in 2022 come forth that were struggling with that, but then underneath that, there was either emotional eating, really high stress, significant hormone issues, gut issues, etc. So seeing how fast some of them were able to make changes and see that clear up was just incredible. So if there's stuff going on with your skin, I've helped a lot of women with that too, which is really nice to see the shift. Fatigue, sleep issues, cravings, right? PMS symptoms, menopause symptoms. These are all signs of inflammation, gut issues, hormone imbalances, stress, self-sabotage with food, right? Negative thoughts and emotions. So I can help you deal with that. These are very common things that my clients come forth with. Bloating, if you're constipated, your stools are all over the place and you're I don't know what's going on, right? We can look into all of that in coaching, which is really, really fun I get to be the detective and help you identify what's going on, which I really thoroughly enjoy. So those are the kinds of things that I help my clients with in body freedom. And I'll talk a bit about biz freedom after this. But essentially, if you're wanting to come forth and do a bit of biz coaching, but you want all the body freedom stuff, we do whatever you want. So we can talk about that in a consultation or in the DMs on Instagram or in the email, what is it that you're desiring support for? And we can focus on that. So essentially, now that I've shared a bit about what I support my clients on, right? And what that looks like, I want to just talk a little bit about the programs and what I offer, because there are some different levels available. And last year was my year of creation. Holy moly. I created a lot of things and I'm very proud of all of that. And yeah, so I have some key things that you can look forward to stepping into depending on what feels like a fit. So the most popular and what most of the women in my world come into is the one-on-one coaching. So with one-on-one coaching, and or I mean, some women connect with me and just email me or DM me on Instagram, say, "Hey, I'm interested in working with you." And then we have a little chat and I send you some details and if, and then we proceed. So I have some clients that sign up for one-on-one coaching like that. I find the majority of the women who come forth book a 30-minute body freedom call. So you go to amberapproved.ca, click schedule a consultation, right? So easy. You just follow the prompts, you fill out a nice intake form because then that gives me a bit more of an idea and it helps to guide our conversation and make sure we get the most out of the 30 minutes. And then I talk a little bit about the coaching programs, right? We identify what's going on, what's not working, what's holding you back, how the support may be a benefit. I give you some insight into things we would do and how that would help you. We talk about coaching programs. So that's really what the 30-minute body freedom session is all about. And everyone, regardless of whether or not they sign up, they always take things away from that session, like always. And I know I always ask again, how are you feeling? And a lot of women say to me, I have hope now. I actually feel like I can change this. I'm excited. Like I want to get on the journey, right? Because it really lets you know you're not alone and that the healing and the change is totally possible. So with one-on-one coaching, the first step is picking a program, and I offer 12-month, 6-month, 4-month, which is more of an intro, but some women gain a lot of traction in 4 months. I have done 3 months, so you can ask about it. However, I find usually most of the women reaching out desire a longer period of time because they get the extent of what's going on and they want to take the time. Renewals are available. So if you come forth and you're like, wow, I'm doing a lot of healing and now I'm seeing how deep this all is, and you want to do a renewal, renewals are available. And or if you just want one term, amazing. It's really whatever you feel called to is what we do. So within those one-on-one programs, after you pick your program, then we get started with like booking sessions, right? And so with one-on-one coaching in all three of the programs, we start with an hour health assessment. And in this assessment, you fill out a thorough intake form. And in this assessment, we go through all your physical symptoms and health complaints. So like gut issues, bloating, discomfort, PMS, menopause, how's your cycle, cravings, right? Skin, weight, poor sleep, what's going on for you physically? Is there anxiety, right? Then we talk about your relationship with food, body image, emotional eating triggers, binge eating triggers, diet history, diet rules, food fears. We look at like supplements, medications, how you're currently eating, right? We talk about, do you have a self-care routine? We talk about the ego, the mindset. Some of my clients want to dive into like empath stuff and energetic stuff. Some just know like that they want more of that, right? But it's really like a full-blown assessment to help give me clarity and us clarity of like the top priorities and things that we're going to work on first, so that we can dive right into that and dive, right into the journey. And after that first session, I send you recommendations, tools, right? Whether it's like things to support your gut health, emotional eating tools, self-care tools, like it's really whatever your unique support is that we want to start working on. Also, when we kickstart your program, we do a round of hormone testing. So all three programs have a round of hormone testing. The 1-year program has 2 rounds because we're working together for twice as long. So we do like right away and then like month 10, 11. But otherwise there's a complimentary round of testing in 4 and 6 month. And it doesn't matter where you're located because either the testing, if it's locally, I have a colleague who's a doctor that does it, and otherwise there's labs and then it's sent to you and or it's a requisition to the lab, and then there's a doctor that goes through it all, and then we can connect on it. And we connect with like your nutrition and connecting how emotional eating and self-sabotage and your overbooked schedule and your insecurities and your physical imbalances are contributing to what's going on with the imbalances there. But out of my 10 years of practice and 1,600, 1,700 women that I've connected with, no one has not ever had normal blood work the first round, right? There's always imbalances of some kind going on. And where I see a big difference is that most people, if it's in the quote unquote normal range, which the normal range is too big for testing, like, oh, everything's fine. Like it's not that, but we can have symptoms in the normal range. One example is like when I first discovered I had underactive thyroid, sluggish thyroid, like hair loss, eyebrow thinning, weight gain, trouble losing weight, cold hands and feet, low energy in the morning, not feeling myself. It impacted my cycle quite a bit. My thyroid stimulating hormone, which is produced by your pituitary, and if it's produced in too large of amounts in the body, it starts to slow everything down with your metabolism and create these symptoms. So it's underactive hypothyroid. But my number was in the normal range for my TSH. I was 2.64, but I was having all the symptoms and I was really struggling with it. And so luckily, right at the time, this is before I knew anything about any of this stuff. I found someone who could help me, and they read the range in a much smaller range and like, yeah, the range is too big. Like if you're having the symptoms and you're above this range, like usually you need some kind of like support. And so I was able to support it naturally. And then I started learning all about this stuff, and right, it really helped me help my clients. And so I've had so many clients who are like, no one is listening to me. Everyone's telling me it's in my head. It's just stress, but they're like, I know my body and I know something's off. And like, I want someone to like dig with me. And so we dig together. And in the rare occasion where we dig and like, there's something else I think that could benefit you, I'll give you a suggestion of like someone else who might be able to help you. Like if it's energy healing or body talk, right? Or there's something that's like out of my scope. However, usually I'm able to help with most things, but I'll let you know if there's something I can't. But we dig, right? I do I want my clients to get their hormones tested very thoroughly. So we do like all your thyroid, your estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, cortisol, B12, vitamin D, iron, right? Like your inflammatory markers. Like it's important to be very thorough because we want to make sure we're looking at everything. So and then I make recommendations, right, of if we need to balance something with foods, spices, teas, essential oils, supplements, self-care tools, and nervous system regulating tools, and the whole combination of going on the healing journey and healing your relationship with food and working on your stress and these other things helps to regulate your hormones. Obviously, if you don't like essential oils, I'm not going to make you use them, but just examples of things that I recommend. So we do the hormone testing. After your hour session, if you need support between your sessions, I use Voxer. It's a voice text app. So you can send me messages and I respond Monday through Friday. I'm usually in there a couple times a day to help give you guidance and support. And it really helps when my clients reach out there, if they're struggling or if they have questions. It helps you build more momentum on the journey because when you're struggling, you're asking for support rather than letting the struggling last longer than it has to. So Voxer is really, I love the Voxer. It's so nice. It's like little walkie-talkie texting and voice messaging. And we can share celebrations and wins. It's not just about struggle. It's about sharing all of the journey. So sessions are every other week. They're 45 minutes in length. And in these sessions, we do all kinds of things together. We monitor your physical symptoms. So energy, sleep, bowels, digestion, cravings, water, your cycle, PMS, menopause, skin, like whatever is uniquely going on for you, we monitor your sex drive, like symptoms, we want to check in on them. We also talk about your food. So I want to make sure you're eating enough and that you're getting variety. So all my clients in one-on-one, I have food prep programs. You get access to all my food prep programs complimentary. You get access to my Body Freedom membership. So for the duration of program you're up for, so if it's 4 months, it's 4 months in membership, 6 months, a year, etc. Which is great because there's self-care sessions in there. There's tapping in there. There's all kinds of things that will just like complement you on this journey that you're on with me one-on-one. Obviously, in your 45-minute follow-up sessions, we can do self-care together. I teach you tapping. I teach you, right, like different journal prompts and meditations and breath and different self-care tools that you feel called to use to help you build your self-care routine and to also like calm down and clear out emotions and prevent emotional eating and binges from happening. We go through in depth your emotional eating or binge eating triggers. I provide you with tools and guidance on how to start catching those triggers. I help you build awareness with your emotions, your ego, your physical symptoms. I want you to become in tune with your body. And my clients become very in tune as we go along on this journey. And then you have that forever, which to me is just so powerful. It's one of the biggest gifts I think that we can give ourselves and learn is to become in tune. And so I can provide you with, all kinds of different tools. And then I give like recipes and food prep magic program access for food stuff. And again, we want to make sure you're eating enough and that you're eating regularly through the day. And the cool thing is that as you do that, your hunger signal becomes more pronounced. If you're not having one, we look at why and we correct that, but then it becomes more like steady and pronounced. And then you are able to really gain clarity of when you're hungry and when you're full. And it's easy to like mindfully eat. In these sessions, we talk a lot about body image, insecurities, people-pleasing, perfection, all or nothing, what triggers you to give your power away to your ego, and these mentalities and self-sabotaging behaviors. What does it feel like to take your power back? I coach you through this, your struggles, your frustrations, your fears, your worries, right? Your insecurities, because the more awareness you have, the more you're equipped that when you're out living your life in the real world, like you can use these tools to help you take your power back. I teach you how to set healthy boundaries, ask for help, say no, like whatever it is that's going on for you, but we want to bust through the limiting beliefs. And I help you reconnect with your power, your worthiness, filling that void, building self-love. We explore your weight loss blocks. Why are you hanging on to protection? We do inner child work. We build safety. We calm the nervous system. We create peace of mind for you. And that's a huge goal. And then for some of my clients, we do more work with, like, if you're an empath, how to protect your energy hygiene routines, right? We can do work with pendulums. We can ask questions. We can explore some of these other energetic, right, parts. I teach techniques to help you remove stuck emotions out of the body, which will help you again regulate and balance more. So there's a lot there, and it's a very in-depth coaching, and that's, I think, why it helps women fully heal, because it's kind of like covering all the bases. So then if you need an extra session, I offer 30-minute sessions that we can connect and book if you need them. But all those programs, that's kind of how it starts. And then each one gets access to the membership in my 6-month and 1-year programs as well. You get free access to my Body Freedom membership, and you also get access to any master classes that I launch through the year, free or paid. Obviously, if they're free, anyone can come, but I give free access to all of my one-on-one 6-month and 1-year clients, and my 4-month clients too, to all of that kind of content. And anything that I launch through the year, you can come and join and learn. So that's another like bonus of one-on-one. I also do a couple of things. I create unique tapping scripts to clear negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. So whatever your unique struggles are. And then I do mind mapping with my clients. So what we do in these sessions is identify a specific negative thought or limiting belief, dissect it. So it's like, if it's, body image or weight trigger, getting emotional about your body and your weight, what first triggers you to give your power away? Okay, once you give your power away, how do you think? How do you behave? Do you self-sabotage? Do you want to restrict? Are you critical toward yourself? But we look at all of that, because the more we break this down in those hour sessions, which are bonus outside of your regular sessions, the more you can catch it when it comes up, when your ego triggers you and you want to give your power away. You actually prevent how like deep into it you go, or how long you stay in giving your power away, or you just stop doing it altogether. And then, as you're healing, you're letting go of a lot of the old, and you're building a whole new identity with your body and food. And so we also, in the mind maps and in your sessions, go, okay, well, who do I want to be? What do I want my health to look like? What kind of relationship with food do I want to have? Right? What kind of relationship with my body image do I want to have? And we build this new identity as we're going along. And it's so beautiful, because you get to step into the woman you've always desired to be. And I've had clients share that with me when we wrapped up, like, you've helped me become the woman I've always wanted to be. And that's just, to me, such a gift, and so beautiful to hear that that's what's occurring for those of you that are, coming out on the journey. And I've had clients on the podcast share their journeys, and they're all very different. And at the same time, like, there's this constant of like healing and freedom and power and love and like peace of mind. And I think that these are some of the most valuable, priceless things that we can give ourselves through investing in healing and support. And in my 1-year program specific, we do like an hour grocery tour where we go into your kitchen, because we're on Zoom, right? You take me into the kitchen, we look at like food labels, and we see what's good and what isn't. We can do your skincare, your body care, house cleaning stuff. Like, it's just really helpful to understand what's the ingredients that are in your food, and what you're putting on your skin and in your environment, because it all can impact your hormones and your gut and your inflammation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all the really potent things that are offered in one-on-one, and it's a very powerful, transformative support. So as far as, coming into that, you can email me, you can book a Body Freedom call, you can DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to talk to you more about it. But that's what the one-on-one is really about. And it's very powerful and very transformational. And I'm going to share a couple of success stories with you right away. Now, this is a little vulnerable for me, because I'm like, oh, like, I've made a lot of changes in my business. I've grown, I've come a long way, getting to the point where, you're like, okay, like, I'm making changes. I'm going to change my prices. I'm going to make these, make adjustments. Like, it can be very vulnerable to come on a podcast with so many of you listening and be like, this is what I charge, or this is what I'm doing. And I think it was like last June or May. I can't exactly remember when it was, but sometime in like the early spring, summer, I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to take things to the next level. And part of it was the coaches I was surrounding myself with. And they're all about like, keep raising your prices, like honor your worth, like you should be charging more. And part of it was there was an influence there, I think. And then the other part of it was I do feel like this is what the coaching is worth. And so I did a price increase then. Um, and I was in meditation, last week. And what was really coming up is, I've had so many great connections and consultations, since then, but it makes me sad when someone comes forth and like they want to do it so bad, but part of the reason that they're not is because the price gets in the way. Right. And I know, like, I trust the universe. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. If it's not, it's not. If you really want to make it happen, you'll make it happen in some regard, whether it's like you start with a membership, which is 77 USD a month, right? Like, that's such a great place to start. I've had some incredible women join lately and they're having all kinds of breakthroughs and loving it. So even that's a great place to start if one-on-one is not yet your thing and you want to save for it. But one thing that I decided, because I put my one-on-one 12-month at like a price that was just like, you know what, this is what it needs to be. And then when I was in meditation last week, I'm like, oh, what did I do? Okay, I need to save this. Quick little interruption on my my YouTube, because I totally by accidentally hit a button and now I'm going to start recording again. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I decided though that for my 12-month rate that I'm shifting it down. So the 12-month rate is not like going to be 20,000 or 15,000 anymore. I'm taking it back to 12,000 Canadian, which I think, depending on the dollar, let me just check quick because it's always changing. But essentially, I was in meditation and I'm like, you know what? This just feels like a shift and I want to talk about it in the podcast. And it's interesting because once I stepped out of like this kind of world of coaches and like just got in alignment with what felt best for me, I'm like, it's okay to make a change to this. And it's okay to, if any of you are like, oh man, I can't afford 20 grand or 15 grand, like, I know it's still an investment, and like you can do 6 months, which obviously is a lower rate, and 4 months, and there's a savings on them right now. But I wanted to share that because I want you to know that that's like what felt right to me in my heart. Like, it might change again at some point. Prices do change. But that's just what is feeling in alignment for me. So it's just about 9,000 USD, and there's payment plan. You can pay monthly, as well. So I wanted to just like humble myself and be vulnerable and share that we all like make changes. And sometimes, it was a great lesson of discernment for me at the time. And that, like, even if a coach is like pushing you and encouraging you, you have to make the decision that's best for you. Same with me. Like, when I'm coaching, I will give encouragement and make recommendations, but I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'm never going to push you. I always want to make sure that you feel comfortable. I will lovingly challenge you, but I also know my limits and I know when it's time to stop. Right. But I'm never going to tell you, you have to do this. You have to do this. Like, I'm like, okay, what do you think of this? Let's explore this. How does this feel for you? And then ultimately you are deciding, you're using your discernment. And it was a great lesson for me. So, vulnerable moment, I did it. We all have our humanness. So that's one-on-one. And then we have the mastermind, which the mastermind is a mix of group and one-on-one. So depending on the length of time that it's being launched for, which I have one spot open for February for 3 months. Okay. One spot. So if this is you and you want this, come forth ASAP, because it's going to get taken. It might already be, because I record these episodes a little bit earlier than Sunday. But essentially in the mastermind, for 3 months, if you want to come forth for that, you get 2 45-minute one-on-one sessions with me, a hormone test, and then we have 2 60-minute group sessions each month with all the women in the mastermind, and they're recorded and you get access to the links for life. So there's essentially like 8 sessions that you'll get in 3 months. And I do hot seat coaching and give you one-on-one support in those group sessions as well. And then you always learn from the other women. It's such a nice community. And then we have the Voxers, so you can reach out for support and ask questions, receive guidance, right? Monday through Friday, and the Voxer, and you get 3 months access to my membership. So if this is you and you want that, there's two options. You can either pay in full, and it's 2,222 Canadian dollars, which is about 1665 US paid in full. Otherwise, it's 3 payments of 899 Canadian or 675-ish US, depending on where the dollar's at the day. But just to give you an idea. So there is one spot open for the mastermind. If you want to take it, email me at info@amberapproved.ca ASAP. Because you're going to get to dive in and start like really fast. So, and then from there, I'll probably do a full, fresh, like 4-month or 6-month journey for that coming in the fall. If I have a lot of women coming through that want it sooner, I would do another round, but I just want to make sure that, the women are in for that. So the mastermind is there, and it's like, 3 months is about 2,000, 6 months is about 4,000 Canadian, right? So it gives you an idea of like where that price point is. And then from there, I have my group programs, 6 months, 7 months. So 6-month hormone harmony program, which is going to be dropping soon. And that's early bird, around the $1,500 USD mark, and you get hormone testing, a one-on-one session, and the rest is done in a group setting. And then Body Freedom Unleashed is my group program to help you heal your relationship with food. And that'll come like probably May-ish. Right. So there's those kinds of things. And then I have the membership, which I love. It's a great place to start if you're curious. We do 3 live sessions a month, a self-care session, a tapping session, and a body freedom session, which those topics in the building body freedom can range from like control to mindset to ego to hormones to sleep to emotional eating triggers. Self-care sessions, we're doing self-care live, and I'm teaching you different kinds of self-care and helping you regulate your nervous system, and tapping while we're doing tapping, and depending on who comes live, right, we do that tapping together. So with the membership, you can pay 77 USD a month and come and go. Like, you can be in for as long as you want, and you can leave whenever you want. Or you can sign up for a 6-month or 1-year commitment and save a bit more. So it's really whatever you feel called to, but it's a very powerful place to start. And there's a Facebook group, and you can share wins, and the odd time I'll come in and do a Facebook Live. I don't do any one-on-one coaching there. So if there's a lot of questions, I will lovingly say, hey, like, thank you for all your questions. I would encourage you to step into a higher level of support for that. So just, because boundaries. Anyways, yes. So there's lots of options available depending on what you want. I launch masterclasses all year, which brings me to my hormone announcement. Okay. So my first masterclass of the year is dropping. It's a 2-day free masterclass, and it's Hormone Havoc. So it's for the women who are emotionally overwhelmed, who you're struggling with fatigue, weight gain, PMS, acne, menopause, hormone imbalances, or you suspect you have hormone imbalances. And it's coming February 23rd and 24th. So day 1, understand the emotional mindset and behavioral connections with your hormone imbalances. And day 2, we're going to go into gut, hormone inflammation, skin, right? All of the symptoms tied to hormone imbalances, weight struggles. So if you're suspecting you have hormone imbalances, but you're not sure what's going on, you just know something feels off and you're not getting the answers, you'll want to make sure that you come and join this 2-day free masterclass. And you can either do so by email me at info@amberapproved.ca and say, I want the link to the free hormone class, or you can go to amberapproved.ca/podcast/398. Yes, I didn't want to get the number wrong. And the link will be in the Hormone Havoc banner, and you can sign up there. You can DM me on Instagram too and ask for it. It'll be in my link tree. So there's all kinds of places you can find it to come and sign up. So it's going to be really fun. If you can't make it live, you will get time to review the replays, and I'm going to be giving a nice little bonus there for the women who are there if you want to come forth for something else. So that is launching Feb 23rd, 24th. Make sure you sign up. Tell your friends about it, your colleagues, your family members. So many people, so many women can benefit from hearing this and learning to understand this more. So there's masterclasses too, free and paid. So that's body freedom. I know I've shared a lot of information, but it is really in depth. And then to just wrap up with a little bit on business freedom, if you're a coach, and or you're a business owner and you're really struggling with unworthiness, self-worth issues, right? Lack mentalities. Maybe there's self-sabotage with food going on. Maybe you're exhausted and you're working 24/7 and you're lacking boundaries with work-life balance. Maybe you're struggling with body image and you don't want to be seen in your business, so you're not showing up in your business as struggling. Maybe you're doing really well, but you're feeling like a fraud because you're teaching and coaching clients to do their healing, and you're actually in the background not able to practice what you preach. And if that's you, don't worry about it. Like, you're human. These things happen. I've had so many women come forth who've been in these circumstances who want to heal that fraud syndrome, if you're wanting to start or grow a podcast, if you're wanting to, put yourself out there more and you're just not sure how, like I can teach you so many things, from pitching to media to building and growing a podcast to, showing up more on your social media, networking, to me, like the mindful ways to build community and relationships and how to not do it. So if you want to reach out and explore biz freedom, we can do a month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, or 6 month. And I'm happy to talk to you about all the details, but we can do all the body freedom stuff and biz freedom coaching too. I do find a lot of the health, mindset, energetic stuff comes in, and I can also teach you how to raise your vibration, manifest more with ease, right? And clear out a lot of those old limiting beliefs that don't serve you and may be holding you back. So same thing, you can go to amberapproved.ca, schedule a body freedom or a business freedom consultation. There's a different intake form and it's the same process. And then we can talk about things and what feels like a fit for you. So those are the details that I wanted to share with you today. So my last point is about acknowledging your blocks. Acknowledging your blocks. So for some of you, you're going to be like, well, right now, I don't have the money to actually invest in a bigger program. That's fine. That's why the free masterclasses, the small, $33, $55 masterclasses and the membership are there. And there's a lot of value. Like I give my all regardless of like the level of investment. Like I want to provide value to you and be of service. That's why I'm here. So you can always start with something small and then you can save if there's something bigger that you want to step into. Like I have a lovely woman who's just like, I found you and I love you. And she joined the membership. She's like, I'm just saving some money. Just like, I already know I want to work with you on business and body freedom. Like amazing. I can't wait. Right. So I know some of you might very well be saving right now and you have your body freedom savings that you're putting money into, or your biz freedom savings that you're putting money into. And I cannot freaking wait to connect with you. And for those of you who know you have the money, or for you, it's like, I've had, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but I'm just saying like some of you may get creative. Like I've had clients who've asked parents or friends or family members for financial support, and it's the best thing they ever did. And then they just paid them back. And they're like, I'm so glad like that I asked for that help, because usually the people believe in us and they want to see us heal and see us happy. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you don't have to. You're going to do what you feel called to do. But I'm just saying, like, if you have ways to make it happen, like explore that, because if it's going to help you heal, amazing, right? If you have the money, but you are right fearing investing financially, like I get it. I've made significant financial investments and it's nerve-wracking. It can be nerve-wracking and exciting at the same time, right? It's like, what if it doesn't work? What if it's a waste? What if I fail? Right? I get it. I've been there. And then the beauty of it is though, when you actually go like, okay, I'm good, like, and don't shortchange yourself. Like, I don't want you to, if you're going to invest and it's going to like make you have anxiety over not having enough money, don't do that. Just start with something small, like, and save. But if you're good and you're like, I know this is fine, but like, it's my fears coming up, we can talk about the fears. You'll work through the fears. And it's like, investing changes your life. I even have a sticky note on my wall that says selling allows people to buy and change their lives. Like, I am a body freedom coach and doing biz freedom coaching, but like I'm also running a business and I am here to do some selling and advertising and promoting of my work, right? And it changes people's lives. It really does. And it changes all the women's lives that I've seen, regardless of what they've signed up for. And sometimes we think, well, I can't afford to take this financial step, whether it's emotionally or financially, but it's like, I couldn't afford not to when I made my investments. And now I see the value in investing in the aligned support that is life-changing, right? I don't know if I would have what I have today if I didn't invest in like my business, my health, right? I don't know if I would have the relationship I have without investing. So I think it's really potent for us to acknowledge, like, yes, sometimes it's not the right time. Don't strain yourself and like give yourself anxiety, but at the same time, be willing to consider like your fears and your ego blocking you, and that the ego does not want you to change and it's going to keep holding you back. And are you going to keep tolerating that? Right? Yes, sometimes their journey, if there's a fear of the journey getting messy, right? You're committing to a journey, your stuff comes up, there's emotions, there's limiting beliefs, there's blocks, there's fears. That's okay. But what if you could shift your perception and see this as the opportunity to build confidence and a beautiful, powerful relationship with yourself. And what if getting a little messy gave you the freedom to overcome the obstacles and the self-sabotage, right, that are blocking you from reaching optimal health? Like, have courage to deal with the stuff and the bit of mess, and know your transformation is priceless. Like, you have this for the rest of your life. The fear of the unknown, right? Failure of succeeding and overcoming your struggles. Like, I know what it's like when you're trying the different diets and the eating styles and the programs that you can purchase off the internet, right, for like $20. And these programs aren't tailored to you specifically. And then when you get partway through and you mess up or you fail or it doesn't work, it creates doubt and fear that you won't be able to succeed, and you lose hope and faith in yourself. And that's why this process is different. Like I've been talking about, there's no cookie cutter stuff here, no quick fixes, no restriction. It's a very high level support, and it's designed to help you with your specific physical, emotional, energetic obstacles and your health imbalances. We can fear not knowing what's going to happen and fear the unknown, and this can make us want to stay the same. But fear has like the most massive costs behind it: suffering, right? Plateaus, spending even more money, potential health issues, guilt, hopelessness, unhappiness. We don't want to stay in that. Trying the same things give you the same outcome, right? Like trying something completely different promises a different outcome. I know a lot of people can fear facing their emotions and working through that, but that's part of the journey that gives you freedom. And being vulnerable, it can be a little nerve-wracking, but it really is part of the process. And then you get to create a new identity, and you get to learn really great tools and have support to help you shift out of all of that. Creating a new identity is part of this process, and it helps you completely change your life. And some have a concern about like letting go of food as a friend. Like that was one of the biggest things that kept me stuck, right? And as you embark on this new journey, and I know you've been using food to soothe and comfort, numb, distract, and that leaves a void. And it can leave us uncertain that if we can fill the void, when we stop using food, so we have a fear of letting it go and a fear of, well, who am I going to be without it? So part of this is around like, when you fill the void with love and doing the deeper work, it completes you for life. And then you can enjoy food and like use food as a nourishment, right? But it's like, what if it looked like, what would it take? Oh my gosh, I can't talk. What would it look like to replace the old friend of food as yourself with your own best friend, right? Like, I know what this is all about. I healed this myself like 13, 14 years ago now. It's insane that time flies so much, but it's well worth it. So, and like I always ask, like, what does it cost you to not change? It's a lot bigger than you may think, right? How is all of this affecting your job, your personal life, your relationships, your sex life, your health, your well-being, the relationship you have with yourself? You always hear me talking about all the supplements and flushing them down the toilet because you're not absorbing them, and it's just really expensive pee, right? So be willing to try something different. I wanted to really spend some time today and talk about the support. It's profound, it's transformational. You've heard other clients talk about it, and I'm going to leave you with that. So I really hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you're wanting to reach out and take advantage of the savings on the 4 and 6 month programs, info at amberapproved.ca, book a 30-minute body freedom call. If you want to take the one mastermind spot for the 2222 Canadian for 3 months, email me. Oh, been talking so long. I need some water. Excuse me. So if you want to reach out for support, you know what to do. I've given you all the different tools. You can connect for a body freedom session, a business freedom session. I'm really excited to connect with you. It's just always a pleasure to connect with those of you who are, wanting to make this change. Excuse me. Okay. So you can go to amberapproved.ca, take the free emotional eating quiz if you're struggling. You can also book your 30-minute body freedom or biz freedom session there. If you have any questions or you want to claim a spot, reach out via email. Otherwise, as I always say, there's no better time than the present to take action on your health. So take action now. Thank you for listening today. I'm so excited to see who reaches out. I know you're there. I know you're listening. You maybe have even already filled out half the intake form on my website. Finish it. Claim this for yourself. You deserve this. I'm sending you love. I'm cheering you on. And I hope you have the most amazing day and week. And I will look forward to sharing a whole new episode with all of you beautiful souls. next Sunday.